Hey everyone, welcome back to another live broadcast. I'm Jenna and your host today of a really fun topic, and that is CadworxLIVE tutorial on how to create stacked text or repeating text. So this is a question or a request, if you will, of how to create this artwork very easily. And that's something that you're actually able to do in our free online artwork program called CadworxLIVE.com. It's an internet-based artwork platform that allows you to just go in and create stuff for free. There's a ton of clip art and templates and different things that you can utilize to really scratch the surface of creating artwork for graphic tees and things like that, but not have to pay for a bunch of different stuff to be able to create it. So really user-friendly, especially if you're new to creating artwork. It's not something that you do a ton of, or you have a lot of experience in. Maybe you're not a graphic artist like myself, and you just need a different platform to utilize. So this is definitely great for that. So I'm really excited to show you the artwork that we're going to be doing today, since it has been requested, and it is something that we're seeing a ton of in just graphic tee design overall, and that reaches several different markets. It's great for spirit wear. It's great for the fun text and sayings, the humor tees, and also the pop culture tees. So you can utilize this across several markets. So I just want to show you, we're going to focus on spirit wear today, since we are in that back to school season. And if you're looking for a unique, different way to represent spirit wear for your current clients, this is a great way to do it. So hello, everyone that is commenting in. I see everyone on YouTube and Facebook. We always love to see where you guys are joining from, so feel free to comment that in. And I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen with you guys so that we can dive into the artwork creation. So you can see here the mock-up of what we're going to be creating. And this is CadworxLIVE's designer. So once you're logged in, this is what you're going to see, and you're able to achieve a lot of different stuff like this. So as I mentioned earlier, free templates, free clip art, free text, a lot of different things that you can utilize to create whatever look you're going for your customers. So this is the look, once again, that we're going to be creating today. And it's actually a pretty simple process. But as you can see, we are working with a lot of different colors in this and some decent amount of detail. So the other thing we're going to talk about is the best transfer option for this type of artwork based off of quantity and just being able to quickly output this for your customers as well. So the first step that we're going to do is over in the left-hand corner, there's a little add text button. We're going to select that and type in the text that we want to create. So we are creating this Eagles tee. So I'm going to type that into my text box here. And then it's going to ask me what font I want to use. All right, so the font that I'm actually using for this is the Cooper Black. So I'm just going to type that in and select that once it populates. And it's going to change my font for me and give me a representation of what it's going to look like once I select OK. There are a few different other options here, such as fill, and this is really just allowing you to change the color, but that's not something I'm really focused on right now. But then you also have the ability to change your character spacing and the text direction. So there's a lot of different customization features that are within the text box as well. So just keep that in mind. Utilize these how you see fit, so it's less work on you. The effect that I'm going to add for this, so that we're creating that open font that we see over here, is a combined contour. And the way I'm able to add this effect is just by selecting this little plus button that has add effect to it. And I'm just going to select combined contour. By double clicking that, that's going to change and create that as an open text for me, and just really just giving me a gap outline there. So I do want to increase my offset because I don't want this to be too thin. So I'm just going to increase the offset to 0.10, okay? And if I wanted to create an additional contour line, I can add steps to this. right? So keep that in mind. That's another way that you can create gap outlines within this designer. But we're just going to keep it as just one single contour line there. And I'm going to select OK, and that's going to populate in my designer. Now I am going to enlarge this just so that you guys can see this a lot easier. The next step that I need to do is duplicate this, because obviously we're repeating this 5 times and stacking them on top of each other. So I'm going to duplicate. The next step that I want to do is figure out where exactly I want this to lie so that it is showing up as a stacked text. Right. So for example, I can take it up more. I can bring it down just so that it's just below. But so that we can best represent what we have over here, I'm going to drag this up and make sure each letter is touching and being stacked on top of each other. The next step I'm going to do is center to make sure everything is in line. So that's one thing I love about CadworxLIVE is it's really easy. Just click options that do everything for you, essentially. So it's less work on you. So I'm going to add an additional contour because I do want there to be a little bit of a gap between each stack. Okay, so whenever I create add effect, I'm going to select small contour. And what that's going to do is make that outline thicker. So it's just adding an additional contour to what I already have selected. This doesn't really matter. By the end of this, we're actually going to remove that double line there. So just keep that in mind. The only reason we're adding that additional contour is so that we can essentially create a gap in between the letters. As you can see over here, none of these are actually touching each other, which is going to make it for easier alignment if I'm doing this with heat transfer vinyl. So that's the reason that I created a additional contour there. And I'm just going to center one more time. And the next step is to do back minus front. All right, so under the shaping tab, there is an option called back minus front, which is just basically punching through the front of whatever's being laid on top of the other object and punching it through. All right, so whenever I go to remove this contour, by just selecting that contour and then selecting remove effect, that's going to go back to normal. And now you can see that there is clear space in between each letter. Now, one thing I always do whenever I'm doing the stacked text is I make sure to clean up what has been punched out and is now showing inside that second layer of text. So to get rid of everything that's sitting inside of there and just clean that up, I'm going to go up to my original text and go to shaping and break apart by regions. And that's going to allow me to just select those small items that I don't want to show up inside of those letters. So I'm just dragging my mouse across that entire section where those are just showing up inside those other letters and selecting each of those. And now I'm just hitting delete, and now it's cleaning all of that up. So now we've created a really clean overall look. Now, before I move on, what I want to make sure, because I'm going to be centering this a lot more, I want to make sure that I'm condensing and regrouping all of those items back together, because those will adjust as I'm moving on and continuing to repeat these processes. So by hitting condense, that's going to group them back together and read as one image as opposed to several different items, because it ungrouped every little cut line, right? So basically, once you understand those steps, we're just repeating those for as many times as you want this repeating text to show up, right? So I think this is good that we're going to repeat this because there's a lot of steps in there. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to keep repeating those same steps until we get the desired look that we're going for. I have 5 over here, so that's what we're going to do. So I'm just, once again, duplicating my last text there, the one that's not punched through. And I'm going to align and centering those, just making sure everything is staying lined up correctly. The next step is to add that small contour. And the reason I choose this small contour is because it keeps the offset at 0.10. That way it's not making it too thick where it's punching through too much and making it unreadable. So I'm just going to drag this down a bit, making sure it's generally in the same lines as what we had above. One more time, I'm going to center, and then I'm going to select the bottom two and punch through those. So once again, being able to punch through is just under shaping and doing the back minus front. For those of you that follow a lot of our CadworxLIVE tutorials, I'm sure you've seen us use the back minus front feature a lot to create knockout designs. So if you guys are interested in seeing any of those, be sure to check out Stahls TV. That's where we have all of those tutorials at. All right, once again, just going in and cleaning up the inside of the text here, and then removing that contour. And we're repeating once again. Good morning, Patrice. Thank you, Mike. My vacation was really good. I appreciate you asking about it. We had really great weather. Good morning, Gina, Lori, Mike. Got someone from Pennsylvania in Sweden. All right, so before I move on, I just want to make sure, again, that I have this condensed. All right, before I back minus front, we'll do the center. Hi, Veronica and Tabitha. I missed you too, Patrice. All right, shaping, back minus front. At this point, we're getting a little redundant, but just bear with me. We are getting through this, so it's just a lot of repeating. So I don't know if you guys noticed that, but whenever I did the back minus front option, this wasn't actually on top. So what I'm going to do is just right click that and select to front. So that brings it forward, and then we can do the back minus front option. Again, just breaking that apart and going through and removing excess. Right, and one more little piece. Center. This is the last one. Oh, see, this is what I meant by making sure that you have everything condensed. So go to undo. It's an easy fix. Select the items that were ungrouped and select condense. All right, almost done. Small contour. Back minus front, making sure we have the right ones selected. It really is fairly easy. It's just remembering each step and repeating them. Thank goodness for the undo button. It's a lifesaver sometimes. Okay. So we have all of our Eagles stacked text. Just going to condense that last piece. Now you can add in any extra script text, little customized pieces. We put pride down here. You can do a sport, whether it be football, cheerleading, volleyball, soccer, whatever it may be. Just adding that additional customized word. It could even be personalization. You can drop a number there. But we'll just do pride since that's the transfer we're going to be working with today. The font that I used for this is, I believe, Silhouette. Nope. That's what we're going to use anyway. So you have the ability within CadworxLIVE to upload your own fonts. All right, so you can see I have 4 different pages here of fonts that I utilize a good bit. I'm going to just choose simple script just so that you guys can see. Once you import your own fonts, this is how they show up, just like you would if you were using the regular CadWorks fonts. We are working on adding new fonts for you guys. So under the 2020 new tab, you'll see some more popular, trendy style fonts here. And then we have all of our usual ones that we've had forever. So just keep that in mind. You have plenty of fonts to use for free in here, but you can also import your own as well. So I'm going to use this font. Sorry, my mouse just went a little crazy on me. And now I'm just going to drop this underneath here. So that's not exactly the same. I can't remember what that was. And now it's grouped together, so it's not even going to show me. And now the fun part, well, I always think is the fun part is selecting the colors and really just finishing the design. So as you can see, every other stack is a different color. So I chose yellow for the first and third line. And then I chose the powder blue for the second and fourth line. And then I chose white as the last line and the customized word down at the bottom just to make it a little different and stand out a little bit more. Now, if there are other popular ways to finish out the last line here, a lot of other ways I've seen it done is by increasing the offset of the contour and making it thicker and more bold. So that's a unique way to do it. And or you can just keep it as is. And let me change my color here. And then what you want to do is make sure, since we have a contour here, you want to make sure you are going to shaping weld. And then you have the ability to change this color from the color that's given to the contour to something else. That way you're best representing what your overall design is going to look like in CadworxLIVE once it's applied to the shirt. And this really helps, especially if you are doing mock-ups for your customers, where they're not exactly giving you the artwork to do, but you are creating it for them. So a lot of different ways that you can finish that out, but it is really popular. Just kind of finish out the stack text by making it a little different than the rest of how the other ones are showing up. So when it comes to the transfer type, so whenever you are working with an example like this, obviously there's a lot of detail in here. There's 3 different colors. So it's really up to you ultimately what you want to do. But I'm here to recommend what's going to be the most feasible and the most effective way to print this for your customer so that you're not spending a ton of time in production. So since we have 3 colors, we have a decent amount of detail because we have the open text. It's not solid, so each of those little pieces need to come out. I'm going to recommend a screen print transfer, specifically Ultracolor Soft. Obviously, this is for a school, whether it be for sporting events or just a bookstore, whatever it may be, there's going to be a lot of these produced. So Ultracolor Soft, once again, is going to be the best bet. I'm also going to be applying this to a, sorry, I just got distracted by a comment. I'm also going to be applying this to a tri-blend. All right, so the tri-blend we're going to be heat applying this to is by Sport Tech. And I just love this t-shirt. They make it in women's and men's so that you can utilize this transfer across the 2 demographics. And this is the LST 430. Let me just make sure it's 403. So LST 403, it's by Sport Tech, and it is a tri-blend. So whenever I'm thinking about the garment that I'm going to be heat applying, I want to make sure the transfer makes sense for that garment as well, right? So that's another reason Ultracolor Soft clicked for me, because it is a low temp, it applies at a medium pressure, and we also are wanting to make sure the dwell time isn't too long so that it's not going to scorch this garment either. So production-wise, application-wise, Ultracolor Soft is definitely the way to go, being that is the exact circumstance. Now, if you're just creating a one-off, or maybe you're only doing 5 t-shirts of these, then heat transfer vinyl is going to be a great option and most likely more cost-effective as well. Now, you have 2 options when it comes to ordering a design like this. You can either order it if you don't want to cut out all the material. I know if I was doing a good bit of them and wanted to cut costs from a screen print transfer and use heat transfer vinyl, then I would probably be ordering the transfers pre-cut from Stahls. So I would just upload this through the Stahls artwork uploader. Now, I'm going to show you how I take this artwork and order it through Transfer Express so that I can get my Ultracolor Soft transfer. So back to the screen here. We no longer need the demonstration there. So what I'm going to do is just export this as a PNG so that we're removing that background. And then I'm just going to give the file a name so I know which file I'm selecting. And that's going to export my design for me. Now over in EasyView Designer, so EasyView Designer, for those of you that aren't familiar with it, it's a free artwork platform that comes with Transfer Express. So once you're on their website, there is a designer option, and that's where you can upload your artwork or create your own artwork from scratch using their templates and clip art. One thing that I love about EasyView Designer is you're not being charged for uploading your own artwork, which is huge for those of you that have customers that want stuff specifically done that you can't necessarily recreate in another designer using their elements. So I'm just going to select Add Your Artwork and choose the file. And it's going to take me to the option of whether I want to just do a digital full color print method, or it's going to vectorize it for me. So if I want to select a screen print method. So for those of you that aren't familiar with Ultracolor Soft, that is technically known as a digital transfer because it's combining a full color print method with a screen print transfer. And that's the beauty of Ultracolor Soft, is you're able to get multiple color, full color, gradients, photorealism in a design, and it feel like an ink as opposed to something heavy on a garment. So I'm going to select the full color option, but just know if you are ever uploading your own artwork, it does vectorize it for you and create a spot color so that it takes your original artwork and matches it with the ink options that Transfer Express offers, okay? So since I'm doing Ultra Color Soft, I'm going to go with the original and go with the CMYK option. And now what I need to do is change my print method. So you can see here that there is a little error message coming up, and that's just because I don't have my correct print method selected. So once I go to print method, there's going to be 4 different options. We have screen print, we have digital CAD prints, which is full color printed on vinyl, non-apparel for wall graphics and decals, and then full color is going to be that Ultra Color Soft. So Ultra Color Soft transfer types come in a variety of different sizes. So you can do a sheet, which gives you 11.5 by 18 inches of room to work with. So if I wanted to double these up and order them so that 2 are filling 1 sheet, I can do that, or I can delete that. Delete that. I could add other items here, or I can just do the medium size. And size it to fit that. So whenever I ordered this, I ordered it so that it would fit a small crop tee. So this is the design option that I went with. But just keep in mind, you can just order single images, what have you. Then it will give you a cost breakdown of what each transfer is going to cost you. So let's say if I'm doing this for a school, for middle school and high school, or even the elementary schools, let's say I want to do 1,000 of these, then it's going to give me a price breakdown of what it's going to cost me per transfer, right? So keep in mind, Ultra Color Soft is great when it comes to really large quantities and producing multiple full color images that you need for different jobs, because you're not being charged per color. Okay. I hope I'm not confusing you when I talk about stretch litho mat, or Ultra Color Soft, sorry. But ultimately, let's go ahead and heat apply so that you guys can see the finished application. Now, whenever you do order the transfers, this is how they arrive. So you can see that this is my printed image that I uploaded right into EasyView Designer, and then the backing is all white. That's the ink that it's been printed on, and then we can transfer it onto our garment. This is how they came. So with the Ultra Color Soft, you do receive a specific cover sheet to use with it so that you can heat apply it. So the cover sheet is always going to come with your transfer. So anytime you're working with stretch litho mat, just make sure you're using this cover sheet. And I don't have my second camera turned on today since we're only doing 1 application. So I'm just going to drop my t-shirt on here and give it a quick little preheat. And then just place my transfer. This transfer is like the perfect size for the dimensions of this heat press too. All right, so this is, now all the time we talk about you not needing a cover sheet for screen print transfers. This is the only screen print transfer you're actually going to need a cover sheet for. So keep that in mind. That's why we provide the cover sheet for you, so that you don't have to worry about stocking cover sheets if you're currently working with screen print transfers and you never use a cover sheet. Right, Michelle asked, can you get multiple cover sheets? This cover sheet is reusable, so just keep that in mind. Hold on to these as you order Ultra Color Soft so that you can keep reusing them. And this is a cool peel, so I'm going to wait for this to cool before I peel that back. But overall, has a really great look. And I love the opacity of this product. It just shows up very vibrantly, no matter if it's gradients, full color, patterns, photorealism, whatever. Just overall has a really nice look and feel to it. And it feels like an ink as well. So if you guys are familiar with our AquaTrue water-based ink screen print transfer, that's kind of what it reminds me of. It's super soft and lightweight. And this feels so soft because we have such open cavities and breathability in it. So even that is making it feel even softer on the garment, and you can't hear it either. So that's another true tell of what a good quality product looks like and feels like, is not being able to hear it crumple whenever you're feeling it, especially if it's full color or multicolor in one design. All right. Let's make sure we have all of the questions answered. All right. Thank you, guys. I'm glad you like it. Question, where can I find later? So this is being recorded, so it's going to be on our Stahls TV channel on YouTube, and then also in the video section of our Facebook page. Robert, welcome. I'm glad you were able to make it to one. All right. Mike asks, to save steps, couldn't you just copy and paste the very top text already done and move above and repeat? I feel like that's what I was doing, but maybe I'm not understanding what you're talking about. Thank you, Patrice. I'm glad you guys like how it turned out. So yeah, really, honestly, even though there's a lot of repeating steps to creating this design, it's still really easy. And then it's even easier that you don't have to cut and weed it out of heat transfer vinyl, especially if you're going to be doing multiple colors in the design such as this. And honestly, this is how I'm seeing this done, is multiple colors, and then the bottom being a really bright, vibrant color that really pops off. And then adding that customization text as well. So we used pride, but football, cheerleading, use a sport, use a number, use mom, use dad, whatever it may be. This is going to be a really hot seller. I continue to see this style of design being used across multiple markets. And you'll notice, I always like pointing this out, you'll notice that there is no scorch mark, even though we are working with a tri-blend. So not only is the design going to be a hot seller, but what product you use is going to sell it even more, so that you can do the trendy t-shirts like this tri-blend. Once again, this item number is LST403. It's a Sport Tech brand through Sanmar, and it just, the transfer and the shirt pair very nicely together because the shirt is extremely lightweight, and the transfer is complementing that by being a lightweight look and feel as well. All right. Well, I want to thank you guys so much for joining me this morning. I know it is a short live today, but we've been pushing 45 minutes to an hour in almost every live. So I wanted to give you guys a little breath of fresh air and do something quick and simple. Once again, this is being recorded. So if you didn't get to check out to the very beginning of how the design was being created, it will be on YouTube and Facebook. And while we're talking about that, if you are not subscribed to the Stahls TV YouTube channel, be sure to check out our channel there. Click the notification bell and make sure you're getting updated with all of the new content that we continue to publish for you guys and keep you educated. In addition to that, we are currently running a campaign that starts today at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're going to be doing top 10 trends. So I did talk about this a couple weeks ago, I think like right before I went on vacation, the trends that we are doing for fall. And it's going to reach across many markets that you guys can start utilizing. And that starts today. So the first trend that we're going to be talking about is a multimedia design done on some popular crew neck sweatshirts. So if you're not on our Instagram, make sure you get there. It's at Stahls Heat Printing is the handle. And check out all of those trends that we're going to be publishing through the next 2 weeks, okay? Every day at 3 p.m. All right, thanks again so much for joining us. I will see you next time.